Hi there and welcome to my guitar course for metalheads called Straightforward Metal Rhythm Guitar. This is episode number 1 of the beginner chapter. You are now watching the first chapter of the method, almost 1 hour and a half of guitar knowledge for free, subdivided in 11 episodes. The beginner chapter starts from absolute zero and at the end of it, you will be able to play this. This method is only about metal rhythm guitar, and you can find the intermediate and advanced chapters on Teachable, link in the description. If you have any questions, write them down in the comments and I answer to all of them. Without further ado, let's jump into today's lesson. Before tuning the guitar, I want to say a few words on how to grab the pick. With the term picking hand, I mean the hand that picks the strings with a plectrum that stays near the pickup of the guitar, while the fretting hand is the hand that stays on the fretboard. If you are right-handed like me, your picking hand is the right hand and the fretting hand is the left hand, while if you are lefty, it's the opposite. So instead of using the terms right hand and left hand, I use picking hand and fretting hand. That being said, there's no right or wrong approach to grab the pick. The list of guitar legends that can play fast and effortlessly using really weird picking grabs is endless. Also, everyone is different. The posture that is comfortable to me can be a real pain in the ass to you, so the rules are just two. Do you feel comfortable grabbing the pick, and is it painful to grab the pick? Simple as that. In my case, I grab the pick with my index finger and my thumb. I let the other fingers rest in this way. I don't close my hand in this way. And I don't hold the pick too tightly because I would start to feel some pain and discomfort after a while, and I feel too much friction against the strings while playing. So the pressure of the fingers around the pick is balanced, not too much, not too little. This is a pretty standard setting of my picking hand, but legends like Van Halen used to grab the pick between the thumb and the middle finger. If it works to you and it satisfies the two conditions I mentioned before, that's totally fine. Keep in mind that during your learning process, you would change a little bit these variables because it's natural to apply little changes to find your sweet spot. And even after many years of playing, you would try to change little things about your posture and your way to pick or your way to use the fretting hand. So, talking about the picking hand posture, just find a place where you can rest your arm and the palm of the picking hand against the wood of the guitar, but without touching the strings. There's a technique that requires to touch the strings lightly with the picking hand, but I'm gonna talk about that later. In my case, I just lean my arm here and my wrist here, so I'm able to hit the string and let it vibrate. That's all for now about the picking hand. Of course, there are moments when our hand floats around the strings and it changes posture and angle, but for now, that's all we need to know. Talking about the fretting hand, there are two main hand postures, the blues one and the classical one. The first one is used for playing bends, vibrato, and short scale patterns on the first strings like this. I'm gonna talk about these techniques in the next chapter of the method, and we're not gonna use the blues position for now. We focus on the classical one. It simply means that our fingers are perpendicular to the neck and the thumb is pretty low, like this. I'd suggest not to raise the thumb too much on the neck like this, because it's harder to get the other fingers in position correctly. In this position, my fingers are not perpendicular, and I feel uncomfortable reaching the frets on the fatter strings. So try to maintain the hand position while your fingers change string. Last 2 tips about the fretting hand. Place the finger as close as possible to the fret when you're pushing a string. If I want to play the 2nd fret, I place my finger here. If I want to play the 5th fret, I place my finger here. and so on. Also, don't push the strings too much against the frets. It only leads to an unstable pitch and pain inside your hand. Lastly, when you switch from one fret to another one on the same string, keep your fingers down. For example, if I have to play the 3rd fret on this string and then I play the 5th fret on the same string, I keep my index down, and then I use another finger on my fretting hand to reach the 5th fret. Avoid this. The first way is faster and effortless. Also, it's going to help you in many situations later in the course. So, first of all, we need to tune our guitar. It simply means that each string must produce a precise note. There are plenty of ways to tune the guitar, and if you're an absolute beginner, it could be difficult to do it right. So I found a simple way that tries to prevent any kind of misunderstanding. You just need a guitar tuner and a guitar cable. Connect the cable to the guitar and the other end of the cable to the guitar tuner and turn it on. Before tuning the guitar, just know that the strings are numbered in this way. The first string is the thinnest one. Then there's the 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string, 5th string, and the thickest one, the 6th string. Now, let's take a look at these mechanisms. They are called tuning pegs. They raise or lower the tension of the strings. The higher the tension, the higher is the sound produced by the string. The lower the tension, the lower is the sound. You must discover how your pegs work. Hit the 6th string and turn the peg clockwise just a little bit. In my case, the pitch lowers, so if I turn counterclockwise, I can raise the pitch. It can be the opposite for you, but there's nothing wrong with that. Once you have discovered how your tuning pegs work, we need to lower the pitch of the 6th string. Turn the peg in the direction that lowers the pitch until the string is pretty loose. Not too much, find a middle ground. Now let's block the other 5 strings, so the guitar tuner is able to scan the note from the 6th string correctly without any interference. Then we hit the 6th string. We have to raise the pitch of the sound until the letter E appears, and in the meantime, we hit the 6th string every 3 or 4 seconds. We are almost there. The 6th string is producing an E note, but it's not a point yet. The cursor must be at the center of the tuner. The 6th string is in tune. Let's move on to the 5th string. We need an A note here, so we lower the pitch until the string is pretty loose. Then we block the first 4 strings with the fretting hand, and I raise the pitch until we reach an A note. The 5th string is in tune. Let's move on to the 4th string. We need a D note here, and I make the same process. The 4th string is in tune. Let's move on to the 3rd string. We need a G note here. Same process again. The 3rd string is in tune. Let's move on to the 2nd string. We need a B note here. The second string is in tune. Finally, let's take a look at the first string. We need an E note here. The first string is in tune, so we have E on the 6th string, A on the 5th string, D on the 4th string, G on the 3rd string, B on the 2nd string, and E again on the 1st string. And that's why the 6th string is also called low E string. The 5th string is also called A string, the 4th string is called D string, the 3rd string is called G string, the 2nd string is called B string, and the 1st string is called high E string. This order is called standard tuning, and I'm gonna talk about notes and other guitar tunings in the intermediate and advanced chapter. For now, I just want you to set up your instrument to go without talking about theory and notes. It may happen that some strings change tension after a little tuning session, so always check the strings multiple times until you're sure that every note is in tune properly. Be careful, don't raise higher than the pitch you're looking for, like this. If you have dubs, just lower the pitch again and repeat the process. Okay, let's talk about the knobs on the guitar and the amp setting. Let's start with the pickup selector. There are different types of them. The three-way pickup selector is pretty straightforward. In this position, we activate only the bridge pickup. In the middle position, we activate both pickups, and in this way, we activate the neck pickup. The bridge pickup has a clear, tight, and crisp sound. That's the sound we use 90% of the times in our metal rhythm playing, and that's the only sound we need in the beginner and intermediate chapter of this guitar method. If I place the selector right in the middle, the sound is mellower, and the neck pickup has a rounded and warmer sound that is used mainly on lead guitar, even if there are some exceptions. The pickup selector of my SG is a little bit different, but it is a simple three-way pickup selector. In this position, I turn on my bridge pickup. In the middle position, I turn on both pickups, and in this way, I turn on only the neck pickup. Sometimes you can find a five-way pickup selector, and it's more complicated, but the idea is the same. The more you go in this way, the more we move from the bridge pickup to the neck pickup. For this method, you just need your bridge pickup, so leave the pickup selector in this way. Talking about the parts, there are different styles of pickguards and positioning of the parts on the guitar, but for the large majority of guitars, the parts can have just two purposes. They can be gain knobs and tone knobs. The gain knob just regulates the amount of signal that goes out of my guitar, while the tone knob just cuts off high frequencies from the signal. We're gonna talk about different uses of these knobs in the future sections. For now, just turn every part clockwise until they stop. In this way, there's no reduction of signal of any kind. Okay, let's talk briefly about the amp setting. There are thousands of different amps, so the interface is always different. I try to explain the basic concepts, but it's impossible to explain the functioning of every amp, so you need to find the specifics of your precise amp. Anyway, on most amps we have a clean channel and a distorted channel. Now I'm playing through the clean channel. Find the button or the switch that activates the distorted channel, also called gain channel, high gain channel, OD2 dirt channel, and so on. Bingo, we have found our distorted channel. We can customize our sound with gain knobs and EQ knobs. The gain knob regulates the amount of distortion. The EQ knobs shape the sound affecting specific frequency bands. Put everything to 10 and play with the knobs until you reach a sound that you like. If the sound is too bright for your taste, move the treble knob. If the sound is too dark, move the bass knob. Try to do the same thing starting with the EQ knob on 12 o'clock if you like. Some amps sound better that way. Just remember that in almost every amp on earth, these knobs don't add anything to the sound. They're just filters, so when they are set to 10, they don't do anything to the sound. They remove portions of the sound in their specific frequency band as we turn the part to 0. About the gain knob, just find a sweet spot. A hyper-distorted sound can be confusing and hard to manage. Too little distortion is not right either for this course. Play with the knob, it's up to you. Some amps require to put the gain knob to 10 because their gain channel is not that high gain. Some amps can saturate the hell of you, so the knob set to 5 or 6 is enough. We can control the loudness of the sound we have shaped with the volume knob. Alright, we are ready for some action finally. See you in the next section.